there's no success. And there's also no failure. What we say is success and what we say is failure. It's just a word. It's just a word you've made up in your mind to withhold approval from yourself, or to criticize yourself, or to allow yourself to celebrate. And we get so serious about these words, success and failure, that when we don't have a bit of success in our life, or even a little bit of time, we're like, oh, I'm such a failure. I didn't achieve what I was meant to achieve, what I was supposed to achieve. What are you supposed to achieve? Who says you must achieve this, and if you don't achieve this, bad things will happen? Well, what bad things will happen? What bad things will happen? Maybe somebody won't like you, won't like me. Okay. So? Maybe I'll lose my job and I won't have any money. Okay. Well, the good thing about being in a Western society is nobody starves. There's always food. Well, if I lose my job and, I have a bit of food, yeah, I don't starve, but I need to get another job and I need to be good at something. What if I'm not good at anything other than my current occupation? Well, how do you know that? Maybe that's something you've made up because you are afraid, right? And so, no matter what it is, whether we want to control the situation to make us not have to face the fear, whether we want to gain some approval from somebody so we don't lose that inner security we have in that relationship because we're afraid of what could happen, I think it all comes down to, that idea that we define something as success and something as failure. But in this video today, I want you to look into that. Because what if the thing that you thought was a failure was not a failure, but just a stepping stone at the time and an opportunity that you needed to grow in the future? Because when we are zoomed in to any one little occurrence, we can get so obsessed about the situation. It's insane, right? We can make up all sorts of stories in our minds. Oh, it should have gone this way. Oh, I need this to happen. And we can really get caught into it, and we're thinking about it. But how many times has that happened? And then later on, you think about it and you're like, wow, that was actually like a really important thing. I needed to go through that to learn something, to learn a lesson, and now I'm here where I am, and things are better, things are different, things are closer to where I want them to be. Or if you're going through a dark period right now, remember, or just think about, maybe I can look back at a wider picture, because I'm sure this has happened to you at least once in your life if you think about it, right? So what if the situation truly was a gift from whatever, you can call it God, a gift from God, a gift from the universe? What if it was this gift? And instead of taking away from you, instead of seeing it as this awful thing, what if it was serving you? And so the thing we looked as a failure can now be looked as a success. You're failing, you're succeeding in failure. Wow. Isn't that wild? Now I just reframed it into another kind of story. That's right. You can put on anything onto any situation. You can make any story you want, because that's the thing. It has no substance. You think it has substance, but you are the one that's putting substance onto it. I can look at it as a success. I can look at it as a failure. I can look at the biggest win as a failure. I can look at Bill Gates, and he's so rich and wealthy, but he hung out with Epstein, right? Okay, well, he's a failure because his wife left him. So I can look at somebody and I can call them a failure, or I can call them a success because he's a billionaire. Doesn't really matter. You get my point. You can put on success, or you can put on failure on anything you would like. Now that you know that, you also know that it's fabricated. It's not real. It's something we've made up, something we choose to pick. And wouldn't you rather have the lucky dip? Wouldn't you rather pick yourself rather than have the lucky dip and get to choose, right? And get to not to choose. So, success or failure, you decide. But when you know this like little hack, it's not really a hack, but when you can introspect into the fact that this is a fabrication, it's really interesting, because now when you are going through life and something starts to feel like a failure, and it just arises in your mind, oh, this really feels like a failure, how could I? You can suddenly pause and be like, whoa, hold up. I remember that video from Dylan where Dylan was like, it is not a success or failure, it's what we choose, and there's no substance but in real truth behind labeling it. So now I don't even have to label it. I can just notice it and be like, okay, whatever, something happened, life's still going, it's just moving and flowing like the water. You know, if the water goes up and down, we're not like bad water. Oh, good water. Water's going downstream. Oh, now it's going upstream. Ooh. It doesn't matter if it goes up or down. Depends on your perspective, right? So, you can change your perspective. That can help. But just to remember, because the key here is to remember that it is fabricated. It is something we've decided. It is a reference point we've added to this game.